Why I'm here today. Well, the rest of the ladies of Sosa aren't here. And like every man in history, I'm going to take credit for what women have built. I'm Amanual and this is a Ladies of Sosa special. And I have one of the best internet artists, I don't know how to call it, critiquers of culture.
Sensation.
Oh.
Yeah, internet sensation.
Internet sensation. You know what I'm saying? Bar for bar, there ain't nobody funnier. You know what I'm saying? He's a cataclysmic cultural critiquer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nigga, talk that shit. Yeah. Do the alliteration. All right, we can see where this is going.
He's a black man of biblical proportions. You know what I'm saying? They call this nigga Samson because he got them locks.
Yeah, facts.
I got Dante Kyle with me.
What's up, man? Deontay Kyle in the building, Grits and Eggs podcast.
I called you Dante Kyle. That's crazy. My bad.
Y'all do that a lot, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying?
Deontay Kyle.
Deontay Kyle.
And look, first off, I just want to say, bro, I appreciate you for visiting the Ladies of Sosa.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
I love when black people from all over the diaspora can connect. Even though, like you said, in solving problems,
yeah.
We just connect.
Hey, it gotta be a start though. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, let's start a conversation somewhere. You know, because they say Africans don't like black people. So how I glazed him like a donut.
Nah, not me being your black friend.
I do not hate black Americans. I have one right here. You cannot say I hate you, nigga. Why do Africans always do that? They'll say the N-word like they ain't one themselves.
Yeah,
my bad.
This should be crazy, but you know what? I'm gonna tell you something that I discovered though. Is like, you know when the whole like Drake Kendrick thing, and he was like, "We don't want to hear you say nigga no more." I was like, I don't think it's, you know what I'm saying. Then I talked to somebody else from Toronto and heard them say nigga, and I was like, yeah, let's chop that. Let's stop doing that. Let's keep that shit. We got to draw a line in North America.
It's right there.
Yeah, the line is Buffalo, nigga.
Griselda?
Yeah.
It's the line.
Yeah. Once you cross that bridge, nigga, no more nigga.
It's like the Mason-Dixon line for the word nigga.
For sure.
Hey, shout out to Freddie Gibbs. I love Griselda also. So
shout out Freddie Gibbs, one of my favorite rappers for sure.
Even though it's beef, let me be respectful.
Yeah, keep it real.
Like, all right, so okay, the first question I really wanted to add on to this is because like you have an ability to shine light on what it is to be a man and sensitive, but also not a bitch.
Right, for sure. I mean, cause I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Like when you live with a woman, I've been married for 8 years.
Oh, congrats.
We've been together since we was 19. So it's like, yeah, you try to do all that tough guy shit, and then I grow up, I see men just like never expressing anything but anger. So that was my bag. Like, bro, we could be late on bills. I'm like, it's fine, it's straight, it's gonna be fine. And then some shit get cut off. You're like, motherfucker, this is some bullshit. You know, but you lash out, you express that anger, but women ain't gonna let you they're not gonna let you get that off. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, you know, credit Deanna, the mother of my children, for like really helping me like learn how to express those things in a safe place, because I think oftentimes with men too, it's like we'll express things to our significant other or to a woman that we're involved with, and somehow we'll feel like our emotions are being used against us, so we just like, I'm just gonna shut that down. So, you know, I'm grateful to have married a woman that allowed me to express that, you know what I'm saying, and not hold it over my head or try to throw it up in my face, where it made me more comfortable doing it. And then it's like, yeah, then you tell the homies like, man, nigga, stop talking about, just say you're sad, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got like a homie that's going through some stuff, and he was trying to like talk to me about it, and he was trying to be the tough guy shit. I was like, my nigga, you want a hug? Gave the nigga a hug, nigga start crying. I was like, I mean, but it's like, you gotta, cause it's like, bro, you hold that stuff in, and then nigga just, everything cool, then you just drop at 50. Yeah. Cause you just been pushing all that down the whole time, and it's tearing you up, bro. It's like
turning into colon cancer.
It turned into something. It's gonna turn into something. It's gonna check you out. But I think also too, it's like we got to stop looking at emotions like some bitch shit. Like, it can't be looking at like, oh, you a soft ass nigga. Like, the thing is, some of the most like sensitive men I know is dangerous as a motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, they don't feel like bitches. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can't make me feel like no bitch just because I said like, bro, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm moping, I don't feel like leaving the house today, I ain't took a shower in 2 days. It's just like, all right, that is what it is. But this motherfucker is like, he do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let that motherfucker be sad, you know what I'm saying? But I think also it's like the correlation between, I think we do this a lot. Like, we say, oh, women are emotional and men are logical, right? Mm-hmm. But then you'll kill a nigga for fucking your girl. That's super emotional. You finna go to prison for the rest of your life. But that's not emotional. You know what I'm saying? That's, if it was logical, you would understand like, these two adults, they made a decision. Yeah, you got fucked over in the process, but ain't nobody got to lose their life behind that shit. That's the rational route to take. But I think that we oftentimes try to like push off anything that we deem as like less than a man. We try to push that off on women. Yeah. And I think like, you know, you could toe the line. Like, men be going through a lot of shit in silence. And then it's like, you wake up and your homeboy done killed himself and you like, I never knew nothing was wrong. It's because that motherfucker acting like ain't nothing wrong. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I think, yeah, by expressing that, yeah, if it got to be me, then it got to be me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not finna get on the internet and be a character and fake the funk about how I feel about certain shit or really what my mentality is, because I have these same conversations with my homeboys. So it's like, if I can have it with them in private, I got to be able to have the same conversation in public, even if it's uncomfortable.
See, that's why I respect you, because like at a certain aspect, it's like they don't get to see that from black men, especially. Like, right. I try to at least be more funny and have fun, but also be honest about emotionally being hurt sometimes as an African, because we have the exact same situation. Our pops just be in the house, quiet
like a mother,
angry, but that boy going through it. This man got PTSD from the motherland.
Right.
Like, I think both cultures have, a large part of us have a lot of PTSD that we're dealing with, that is just generationally passed down.
Right.
And we still haven't learned the coping mechanisms yet.
Well, so this is like a two-pronged thing, right? Well, colonialism is a playbook. Mm. So anybody that has a history of colonialism in their country actually is going through some of the same things. That's like where the diaspora wars really don't make sense to me. It's like, if we start comparing histories, it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Somebody showed up with a Bible and a whole bunch of clothes on, stanking, and then remixed your whole shit, and now you don't like yourself and you don't like people that look like you. Why? You know what I'm saying? So I think, but then we had the internet too. So I think the internet is the thing where like our fathers, our grandfathers are more traditional in the sense of like, shit, a lot of their threats was like real life when they step outside. We don't got the same like real life threats day to day that they had to deal with when we talking about in terms of racism, white supremacy, colonialism. We don't have those same front door threats, you know what I'm saying? So like my grandfather coming from a time where he couldn't look white people in the eyes, you understand what I'm saying? To like me, I'm on the internet just all day talking shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think too, when we start to be honest about not only like the things we see our parents go through, our grandparents, but the things we go through, and then somebody like, well, I'm going through that too. That relatability and that ability to like see each other in each other is like, oh nah, okay, let's have a further conversation. Let's like continue to talk about this shit, because my mentality is this: when it's negativity, nobody got a problem with repeating it.
Exactly.
So niggas will drive a negative message home every day. They'll run it into the ground. But when it's something positive or it's something productive or progressive, it's like say it one time and then keep it moving. Like, nah, you gotta have to keep hammering at that nail, because this the one that's gonna like really stick. All that negative shit is just like creates more division. If it actually is regressive as hell, because it forced people to go into places where they're comfortable. Like it's more comfortable for me to distance myself from you because you African, and I can say, oh, well, Africans don't like black people. And it's like, no, you a black man in America, though. Like, that's the way you going to be seen. Nobody going to be like, well, he looks like he's South Sudanese, I think.
Brother, I'm too black to get in that. Like, come on, man. look at me, they say, "Oh, shit."
Yeah, we know where that melanin from.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's that Sudan melanin.
But they're not gonna see it. All they're gonna think to themselves is, "Oh, wait, is that dude from Green Mile?" Like that's it. They just see niggas. That's
crazy.
it.
That is what's being seen. But I think also it's like, instead of being reactionary, like being on the defense all the time kind of puts you in a place where you can't plan. You know what I'm saying? We always on the defense about our blackness or our culture or trying to defend, where it's like, okay, if we know that when we go outside, we all seem the same, we take advantage of that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if okay, I see you, you see me, we together. That's it. You know what I'm saying? If we start there, when I was saying in my last podcast, if we put being black first and put ideology second, we'll get further. We'll get a lot further quicker. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of shared values and culture that is all across the diaspora. And we just don't talk about it. Or we like to do this like we did it first type shit. Like, bro, chop that up.
It's like how I say it. It's like the muumuu and the jalabia. The same type of...
It's all this.
We get horny the same, nigga. It's like ass is universal in culture.
No, fact,
we call it yash, you call it yams, you call it whatever you call it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a fact though. It's a fact. And I think that we could thrive in the similarities. You know what I mean? There needs to... Okay, perfect example. Footwork, like the footwork dance, is different in DC than it is in New Jersey. It's different than it is in New Orleans. It's all the same kind of creative expression, but regionally, it's little tweaks to it.
Exactly.
And it's all based on like the sound of the music. Like go-go music sound different from New Jersey, like house music sound different from bounce music in New Orleans. But it's kind of the same expression. It's just showing up in a different way. And that's all our cultures is. It's the same expression, it just shows up in a different way. So we can see the similarities, and like the thing is like, okay, somebody can talk about like who started what. All right, well let's extend the timeline. Let's go back 400-500 years, and then let's start talking about, well, shit, we was over there too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right, we was over there, now we over here. Like that's all that shit is.
It's just tweaking the recipe till it's something different over a long, expanded period of time.
Facts. That's it.
Like that's it. But let me look, bro. You spitting? Okay. So I do have to have a real conversation about why do you think it is radical for a black man to show love the way that you do?
Cause love is free, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's actually one of the things that it don't cost nothing. And we've been conditioned to like hate, you know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to hate on some shit. That's why I say I'm a hater, not a liar. Because like if I don't like something, I could say I don't like it, bruh. It don't have to be hating, but that's the way that it's taken. Like anytime you take a contrarian stance or anytime you take a stance that's like everybody like this song and I be like, yeah, that shit ass. Hating that niggas like, nah, I mean, that's how I truly feel. But at the same time, it's like when we love something, we stay quiet about it. Nah, I want to be louder when I love something than when I'm against something. You know what I'm saying? And I think also that extends to people. We should express that more amongst ourselves as men. You know what I'm saying? Because I think the thing that I really value about women, especially black women, is that they hold space for each other. Yeah. They're going to be the first to compliment each other. They're going to be the first to put each other on when the situation come about.
You're gonna be the first to protect each other.
Protect each other. Yeah, they understand. So it's like if we take leeway from that example amongst one another, then we'll start to see a lot of these issues we having with gender, like between each other, that'll go away. Because now that we more comfortable expressing love to each other, we'll be more comfortable expressing love to them. And I think it's important too because it's like also like it feel good, bro. Mm-hmm. Niggas be showing me love on the internet, bro. Niggas don't understand. I be at the crib like
kicking your feet.
The love is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But it's like we would go. It's just like really just reversing that mindset where you could have. It's also like getting numb to love is crazy too, because we never numb to the hate. Niggas will lie about that all day, but you'll see 100 comments of somebody praising, and that one comment where they was like, actually, I don't see what you guys see in this. This is trash. We'll focus on that, and then we'll start think piecing, and we'll respond with a video. And it's like, bruh, how about you show give all the attention to the love. That's what I do. Like, if somebody, they don't like what I do, it's like, first of all, like, you just in the wrong neighborhood, bro. That's it. It's fine. This ain't for you over here. And I ain't even gonna I'm gonna let you sit that on ice. You just gonna be over there in the corner, mad by your motherfucking self. And I'm gonna show love to the people that's showing love to me.
And that's one thing I peeped about you is like you've never been one for controversy. Like even when you did that one video with I forgot the brother's name, it was a white brother that you did that
Jacob O'Brien.
Yeah, I was like, man, he ain't really. I've never seen you beef.
It was fake. Yeah. Well, honestly too, it's like it was his idea because I was like, if we do this, they're gonna think you called me a nigga or something. And he was like, nah, they're not gonna think. I said, all right. I said, look at the type of content you do, bro. You do content that's like, you go at white people all day. You call white people out on their bullshit all day as a white man. So if a black person come up and say, tell these folk what you said to me, the first thing they're gonna think is, oh, he done called you the hard R. He done really laid down the law. But nah, it was just love, bro. It was like, I think it's easy, right? It's easy. Like, it's real cannon fodder. Like, you could just involve yourself with bullshit all day. Involve yourself with people that don't agree with you. You'll never see me do a debate because I'm not finna have an intellectual pissing contest with you. You're not gonna change my mind. I'm not gonna change yours. So all we here to do is talk about how we feel about something and why it's different or why I'm right and you're wrong. That's stupid. Now, I can see where it's applicable in like academia. On the internet, bro, calm down with that, dog. Because you've been on TikTok Live for 5 hours. Come on, chat. Come on, guys. Let's hit the likes. It's like, all right, well, but how is this moving the conversation forward? Because everybody left the same way they came. It didn't change anything. It's not progressive. And I think also it's like people that engage solely with the people that don't agree with them. Think about let's just talk about from like a marketing standpoint. What type of like brand are you setting up for yourself? Yeah. The brand of like clapbacks. It's like all it's gonna be is like you only pay attention when people don't like rock with you. How like what we gonna do with that?
Exactly.
How does that even like that gotta be miserable as hell.
Either that or you got a kink for being like
all right, now let's get into
that boy Myron.
Yeah, let's get into the kink talk.
Hey,
let's talk humiliation rituals.
I mean, maybe that's the reason why some of these white boys be talking out of pocket towards black women is they just want to be humiliated by black women.
Yeah. They got humiliation kink or like a degradation kink, something like that. Yeah, I mean,
we not gonna go into that.
Shit get crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious.
I was gonna get this is another point I wanted to get into. Is like the YN discourse to me is crazy toxic because for me it reminds me of another kind of discourse, which is like child soldiers.
Ooh.
Like black children being viewed as more than children,
right?
And just young niggas.
Yeah, militant. Right. And see now look, this is the benefit of the conversation though. You have a whole different perspective. See, black people in America don't have the idea. The child soldier to us is like, we think about like shit like Rwanda, like movies and shit we done seen. And it's also like stereotypical too, is to like the African child soldier. Like that's some Coney 20, what that shit was, Coney 2012?
But that's like that's my uncle. Like
word?
Child soldier. Like it's kind of conversations like that.
Yeah, and so we don't see, you see the correlation in a different way than I do. Because I see it as just them being villainized. But you see it how it could be like, no, they can actually lose their lives. They're actually gonna be fighting wars that don't have nothing to do with them. And it's aging them. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying about your folks having PTSD in a situation like they not even supposed to be fighting in that war. Exactly. But how, like, tell me more about that. Like, I want to know more about that.
For example, like I live in the BA, which is an area in like South Sudan and North Sudan. It's the oil's there. Yeah. And it's basically neutral ground. It's both North and South Sudanese. And a lot of the times between the villages, they have raids. And it's like young brothers going against each other, fighting over cattle. So people will be dying over cattle a lot of the times. Like literally just robbing and stealing from each other at that point. Right. With guns. But the crazy thing is a lot of these families and a lot of these people will be intermarried. So you really stealing from your cousin that's on being on a different block.
Right, damn.
Just being in a different village that's up from the same area. and it's just always fueling each other. Like I have people here that I'm connected to who are on rival villages, just like there's rival, like tribalism and gangs, basically parallel, same thing.
Right.
And that's
dog. The correlation between those things is crazy though. It's like, if with something so similar, what are we like even arguing about, bro? Like, what are there? Because the differences are like so little.
Wait till you find out about the Omaha Sudanese that are in Nebraska. So
let's
certain tribes, like I think it's the Nuer, will be with the Crips, and the Denka will be with the Bloods.
Oh, they brought the skill set to America. You know, they just transfer skills.
Exactly.
Here's my resume.
They have a gang task force over there that specifically speaks Denka, and that is like over there. We had a conversation about this, and people don't realize that, like, yeah. And it's easy for young men who feel disenfranchised when they come to the United States to just get into that the same way. The system just funnels them in.
I think you see that a lot. So that specific example is like something I'm not even aware of, right? I'm more familiar with it when it comes to terms of like my dad is from New York. So when you go to New York, you see like Dominicans, Cubans, Jamaicans, Haitians. You don't know that they not from New York because they done acclimated right into that culture, that street culture, right? It's not until you like start having conversation or you go to their house and it's like, oh, it's crazy different over here.
There's Sudanese street niggas all over the world, and you wouldn't even know. You just like, oh, he look like Akon. That's it.
Yeah, fact.
That's it.
Well, there you go. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, that's fucking to have that in Nebraska. I know that Omaha, it be going down in Omaha. Like I know that for a fact. But whoa.
To put it even bigger, so even a bigger connection is what's happening in Australia. Because you know, what's that, Rupert Murdoch, or who's the billionaire that owns Fox News?
Yeah, I think it is Murdoch.
He's from Australia, right? Well, guess what they're doing to like Sudanese immigrants over there, and the knife and the gang violence that happens down there, and the way they present black people down there. Because you know that's where they developed the whole ideal of like the Fox News system and how they present it in the United States. I always say that's the biggest connection nobody ever really talks about. It's like over there, the Aboriginal and the Sudanese immigrants, they treat them like, if you look at the news, the way that they speak about these Sudanese kids is the exact same way they speak about Chicago and about like these young kids over here. So even that YN conversation is worldwide.
Yeah, it's a global thing. Yeah, and the thing is like I always question things when they come out the blue, because TikTok won't allow you to call somebody a young nigga, right? So I understand the abbreviation of YN. That's what black people do. Black people just like, oh, okay, well, if you won't let me in this door, I'll just find another door. And so the YN thing is a phenomenon about us and like how we navigate language on the internet, right? But then it's like fucking white people get a hold of shit, dog. And then it's just it could be a 17-year-old baker. He's baking pies, he's baking cakes, and they'll just be like culinary YN, like, dog. That shit is racist for one.
Hell yeah.
And then two, it's just like, I understand when you call somebody a young nigga, like, what you trying to say? Same thing with what you just talking about there. The same, the mentality is like, you thinking about a nigga in Chicago with a shiesty on.
Exactly.
That's what you see in your head. And you're not allowing black men to be seen as anything other than like criminal. Exactly. And this is an old concept, right? And they just keep rebranding it. And it's like, ha ha he until it ain't. You know what I'm saying? That's why like I don't like I made it a point to like, no, let's stop this fucking snowball before it get going. Yeah. Because this can get nasty, bro. This can get like dangerous for people. Because if we ha ha he and then it's like, well, then what's gonna happen when motherfuckers like this is like online stop and frisk, bro. That's the way I look at it.
Super predator.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
All it is, bro. It's like super predator. But
I think it was FD Signifier that like was the first person I saw have this take. He was talking about. He was like, "Yo, YN feels very much like what's called Hillary and Joe saying."
Yeah. See, I like FD, man. Actually we became mutuals like a month ago, and now there's like talks like people like, oh, you and FD need to sit down. And I'm like,
got to.
FD, if you ever want to do it, holler at your boy.
Transition. So, like, what made you get into the content game, and what made you feel like your voice was necessary? Because it is, but what made you feel like it?
Bro, I had, I was real cynical for a long time, like, about the internet in general. I just always felt like this ain't a place for no real shit. This a place for bullshit and materialism and consumption. And that mentality is, like, real Instagram. I hated Instagram because it's like, damn, you can't even be yourself on this bitch. Everything gotta look like you rich. It gotta look like you drive a $100,000 car. And I was like, where's the room for like working class people on this? And I noticed that like during the pandemic, a lot of people started posting on TikTok more, where I had the same mentality as most niggas, like, oh, that's just for kids and dancing, and niggas shaking their hips. Like, that's what that is. Mm-hmm. And then my homeboy was like, man, this shit that you be talking about, they be going in rabbit holes on this TikTok shit. Like, you need to get on TikTok. And at first, I was just on there just to dive into like conspiracy theories, just taking it in. And then I was like, oh nah, like I could probably pop my shit on here, and then go back to Deanna, my wife. She was like, bro, these conversations you be having with me, just have them on the internet. She was like, because sometimes I don't even know what to give back to you. And she was like, you taking me somewhere. But like, she was like, I can't have a productive conversation because I'm not even thinking on this level. Like, you a lot more worldly than me. So I had the first initial conversation about like capitalism when we was talking about like rent prices soaring and shit like that. And I was like, if I'm feeling the effects of this, like if I finally got myself a trade, I'm making like $85K a year, and I still feel like my pocket's touching, where it's like, nah, this shouldn't be like check to check. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck that, I'm frustrated, I'm finna say something about it. That shit just popped. Like, I went from having like 300 followers to like 30,000 in a week, because so many people could relate to that. And I was like, oh, we could really have some real conversations over here.
And I remember, because I was one of them 30, you were in your car.
Yeah.
In your truck, right?
Yeah, in the truck.
You were going ham.
Yeah.
And I was like, this nigga spit.
But it went from like never posting to I made one post, and then I was making follow-up posts to that. That shit went viral on Twitter. And that's when I went from 30 to 60. And it was like, bruh, all in a month. Mm-hmm. And then it stagnated, right? Like, that's the thing. It's like, you catch you a little wave, but I had like a core that I was just talking to. And it went from that to like, people was like, man, you need to start a podcast, because 2-minute clips, 3-minute clips, like that ain't enough. We need long form stuff from you. And I was like, I'm working, like I'm over the road. But I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go buy an iPad, and I'm gonna set that shit up in the truck. And it was inconsistent, but it was growing.
Yeah.
And it was growing.
I listened to that first episode, that shit good.
It was growing my page too, though. And I was like, oh. And also, like, the way that I like think, when I start getting that stream going, like when I really get going and I start being able to connect it to other things, and like even with this conversation, how you connecting issues in South Sudan to like issues in America, it's like that's the way that I want to have the conversation. That's the things I want to think about, the things we not talking about or we don't see, right? And I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do a podcast, I need to do it for real. And but I'm still making my TikTok content, but I want to get into YouTube content and further like the conversation, long form, right? And FD Signifier was a big part of that. Just watching how he did it, I was like, okay, there has to be a way I can make this my own thing, And then there's another creator named Felicia. Her Instagram is Felicia for the win.
Dark skin shorty?
No, she brown skin, but she bald head. Like, she got a bald head. She wears glasses. Yeah. She's a software engineer, and she basically broke down like the TikTok algorithm. Mm-hmm. And she was like, every 25th post you do, it'll get, so just make sure that you being intentional about your content, because if you just putting out stuff, the thing that pop might not be the thing you want to be known for. So even if you talking,
before you continue, I know exactly what you're talking about, because the shit I popped off for was some Tarzan shit, and I said, I ain't never want to be that
listen,
nigga
dog,
again.
I remember that like it's yesterday. I was like, yo, what is this nigga doing? But the thing is like, you can see it was like comedy, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? It's left up to perception after that.
It can go tap dancing real fucking quick.
Go tap dancing quick, right?
Continue.
But the fact that you kept going and just like, okay, because another thing that people like to do is like, they like to take the thing that make them pop and they just drive that into the ground until it's like, well, you only known for this one thing. Yeah. You're not known for, I wanted to be known for my mind. Yeah. That's it. You know what I mean? Everything else, like personality, you know, any other aesthetically pleasing things that come along with being in the forefront of things, that's cool, but those play the background. My mind is what's going to lead this thing, you know what I mean? And then that's how we get to sit here, you know what I mean? That's how I get invited to Dallas in the first place. And so, yeah, you know, I got to give props to Deanna for just for telling me, like, go put it on there. It don't matter what comes from it, but people, your voice is needed outside of this household, you know what I mean? Because she was like, I can't maintain the conversation with you, but somebody out there can.
So behind every great black man is good black women.
Great black women, yeah. And then shout out to Felicia because she broke down the algorithm. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I got to give my credit to black women where it's due, man. It's like, honestly, that's how I got my start and that's how I learned the game. It's through them.
See, and they say black men don't love black women, but we do.
Yeah, that's a fact. I mean,
it's just sometimes we got to be humbled.
I love my mama, bro. Like, that's why I don't get it. Like, I got a mama, I got a grandma. That's who raised me, bro. Motherfuckers be talking about, you know, I'm not the way that I like to do is like, if I can't explain this to a child, then I don't really understand it, right? Mm-hmm. So a big compliment that I get is like, you take complex concepts and make it very simple and digestible.
Yes.
But again, bro, my family was just big on language and vocabulary. Like, my mom was like, math is simple, you know what I mean? If you know how to count your money, you'll be good for life. But language, that's the barrier. Yes. That can keep you out of rooms. Yes. So you need to understand what the room you in and how they talk in that room. And when you get in there, you need to talk like them. Exactly. So language, like we used to do anagrams and stuff all the time. My grandma was big on that. Find the biggest word in the dictionary. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Find as many words in this word that you can do. And it's like a competition with me and my cousins. And I was just always like the best at doing that shit.
Bro, that's the most African shit I heard in my goddamn life. I swear to God. That's the shit
intelligent competition in the household. And then me and my cousins used to be shitting on each other like, bro, listen, they used to be so mad like, bro, this motherfucker always winning. I'm like, I'm smarter. I'm the smartest in the I'm not only the favorite grandchild, but I am the smartest. And we need to be honest about this. But actually, it started getting to where my little cousins was like, coming up smoking shit because they in their room practicing like, yeah, nah, nigga, I'm gonna start doing this shit on my own. You know what I'm saying?
Not the linguistic generational talents now.
Hey, let's talk about it. My son just got accepted to the spelling bee. My middle son just won. He third place in the school-wide spelling bee last year.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Black intelligence leads to more black intelligence, and that's what we want to see.
I mean, it's important, bro. Like, we got to be more than entertainers. Our skill set is necessary in every space. Mm-hmm. It actually drives most spaces, right? So I think that if we continue to just rely on entertainment as like our main export, then when we are in rooms and spaces that are led by intelligence and academics, we're the minority when we should be the majority, right? Every person that you know right now is like, oh, this child at 12 has an IQ higher than Einstein. It's always a black kid.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's there, but it's like we take the path of least resistance. Nobody resists us being entertainers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We got to like, it's been plenty of barriers broken down for us in this country. You know what I mean? And I think that's where black Americans get offended. Like, bro, we fought to get our rights so when y'all come over here, y'all can share the same rights. And yeah, it's gonna come with a little discrimination, but I mean, we deal with that too. But at least the barriers are broken down.
Exactly.
So it just need to be, and like, I'm just a proponent of like love, bro. Let's just like show each other love. It's enough people against us. You know what I mean? Especially like outside of the diaspora. You go back to Jamaica, y'all got your own issues with hierarchy there. You go to Sudan, you got your own issues with feeling discriminated against there. It's like, don't come over here. And then we further discriminate against ourselves. That's crazy as hell.
But it's a repeating cycle that I think most of the time can just be dissolved with actual communication like this.
That's it.
Where you get common ground from people that would never know. Like my pops watches this podcast, so this is gonna be the first time he's gonna be exposed to you, and I can't wait till that nigga see this shit. Cause I'm gonna be like, dreadlocks are not for unintelligent people. He the only one without, me, Tim, and him. We the only ones without dreadlocks in the family, and he always been hating on dreads. My mama got him, my sister got him, the whole family got him, and it's little stuff like that culturally that when I see somebody like you, I'm like, look.
Yeah. Check me out, pops.
Baba, I love you.
What's up with the comedy? What we doing? What do you mean? When we gonna get you a 15, 20-minute special on YouTube?
Man, I actually want to do one pretty soon, but I got to get the right venue. I mean, I love my comedy, but I do think there is some maturity that needs to be involved in it because I realized about like 2 years ago, I don't want to be tap dancing when it comes to my comedy, and I want to be more serious when it comes to my comedy.
Yeah.
And I want to show more of myself.
Yeah, I mean, you got the intelligence, you got the experience. I think the easy thing is being goofy. It's easy to be goofy, bro. Dog, listen, I'm always gonna circle back to like my mama, my grandma. I used to be like a big class clown growing up, and my mama used to tell me like the story of Sambo, right? Being funny for the sake of white people, like just being laughed at. You know what I mean? And she was like, "You don't never want to be in a room being laughed at." You know what I mean? She was like, because when you start to realize that they pointing and laughing, and not like we're all laughing together, she was like, she said it's gonna ruin your self-esteem. It's gonna ruin the thing that you think is bringing you joy. You're gonna start to realize you a spectacle, right? Exactly. And so, I mean, and this is like a woman having a conversation with a 10-year-old.
But that'd be the facts.
And I was like, but I'm not peeping it. But like, you think about that, stick in your mind, like don't be laughed at. But I think, you know, in our youth, I talked to my son about this too. Everybody just want to be accepted, right? Yeah. We're in a space where like there ain't no self-aware 10-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? So like, you're in a space where you want to be accepted, and how you get accepted is how you stay accepted, right? So when you stop making people laugh, they ain't gonna want nothing to do with you no more. So it's like one thing I try to think about too is like knowing I'm a funny nigga is like how do we extend intelligence into this, right? Because that's one thing I've always liked about stand-up comedy is like the ones who I think are the best are the smartest.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They're having hard conversations, but they're like kind of like putting some sugar in the medicine type shit. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, I've seen you get in your bag and it's funny, but it's like, it's making me think. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's an easy transition to make. You know what I mean? And then also like, how old are you?
I'm 29, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, you ain't even in the space where you ain't even a grown-up comic yet.
No, not even close. But I do have 20 minutes that I know that I'm going to be able to tell, but my main focus right now is actually trying to finish this little short film that I got going on. Okay. About alcoholism that I'm going to be dropping.
Hey, man, had a hard conversation. Make it funny. And then, I mean, because every time people leave, when people are in a space and they're laughing, when they leave, they're thinking. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that's the most annoying thing about Kendrick to people is that, yeah, these are bars, this music hard, but it's, now we having all these think pieces about like, yeah, why are you niggas anti-thinking?
You know what it is? I think it's because people be so depressed that they like, man, please. But I think people forget that like you can think without fully feeling the emotional oppression of like the thinking.
Right.
Like you can have a think piece, you can have a conversation without just letting it weigh on you that heavily. But then with Kendrick, sometimes you be like, damn, dog.
I mean, you listen to Mother I Sober and you like, God damn, brother. Like, all right.
I was listening to Reincarnated. I said, dang, God damn it, this Negro here.
Man, he's generational talent, bro. Doechii too. Just
Doechii. That's okay. So that's one point I wanted to get on to you about, bro. I love Doechii, and your point of her being TDE's next Kendrick.
It's a fact, though.
Like, she's the best in the game right now.
You can't, when you see something, you got to call a thing, bro. It's very apparent. I've never seen a new artist breaking through barriers like this in such a creative way where there's clearly a lot of thought into production, into how it shows up, into the conversation she's having. Like, having a conversation about being cheated on by a man that was down low. But the thing is like, That's a real conversation that a lot of women deal with, and it's like nobody's talking about it.
Nobody ever talks about it.
And she's not doing it in a nasty way where it's like homophobic. It's like, no, this is just what happened.
And also herself, she's
bisexual, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so for her, it's like coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
And honesty. And
it's honest. And we got to be honest. You can be honest without being nasty, bro.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I hate the most about people is like when they say, oh, they just don't like me because I tell the truth. No, you're an asshole, bro. You're a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to say that like that. But I think it's so easy for people to punch down and then call it being honest or I'm a truth teller. It's like,
I always say when a comedian has to do stuff like that, it comes from a place of insecurity.
Right.
And they want to feel superior, and they want the audience to always feel that they have some sort of higher class of comedy people can't see.
Oh, yeah, man. You niggas don't understand racism. That's all it is.
Let me explain it as a white man how you niggas don't know the aspect of racism that affects me.
Right. Exactly. I think, another thing, too, is like, there's a thing in us that wants attention, and everybody, we wouldn't be sitting in front of cameras right now if we didn't want attention, right? The thing is like, it's about however you get it. Yeah. So if you get it from being a troll and rage baiting, and that's the thing that's getting that's giving you your dopamine hits, that's what you're gonna keep doing, right?
But if you're getting a little bit of like venom with your dopamine, eventually that's going to poison the soul.
We never see this thing have long-term success.
Yeah.
So when I see it happen, I'm like, well, this is your moment. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have your moment, and then in a year, we won't be talking about you at all. So there you go.
Do you think that's like one of the reasons why, especially with Twitter, like Twitter can be give and take sometimes.
Yeah.
But like it being such a toxic app, do you think ironically Elon Musk being its downfall potentially makes sense for it?
Yeah, I think that's like, when is somebody gonna tell Elon to go back to Africa?
We don't. You know what? Ain't nothing more annoying than a white South African. Let me get this shit off my fucking chest. You niggas, like, every single time they be like, I'm more African than shut the fuck up, okay? I'm sorry, man. I hate white South because they'll look you in the face and they'll be like, there was no black people here in South Africa. We were the first people to be here. I'm like, nigga, what?
Man, niggas can't even live in the sun. But look, all right, the sun hates you. let's wrap before we start.
Yeah. We gonna have white cancel culture on our ass.
No, but we start like a town meeting. It's a black town meeting.
They gonna cook her.
Go back north.
Like, especially me, they're gonna be like, you South Sudanese.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing that come out their mouth when they see a Sudanese talking out of pocket. Because they always expect us to be fucking humble.
Yeah.
And everybody's humble. That's why I think, you know Nakiai, right?
Yeah.
I think one of my favorite parts about her was like her unapologeticness when it comes to like her modeling and herself and her blackness. Because like she went to a HBCU, so she's equally influenced by Black Americans.
Right.
And she's uplifted by Black American people.
Right, for sure.
Because they gave her like the guts to be able to speak up. And I think a lot of times when they see images of Sudanese people, they say, I am peaceful.
The humility, right? Yeah, pop your shit though.
But we not human. Like, we really not that. If you really heard the conversations we have in our native languages, we them niggas.
Yeah.
We still black at heart.
Right,
we still talk our shit.
Yeah, and then humility has a time and a place, but there's to try to make people be humble. Mm-hmm. It's just like, nah, your light, it makes me uncomfortable, so you need to tone that down. Fuck all that.
Damn, that's like, I wish we could have longer time.
Yeah, it'd be good. I'll come back, bro.
Please. And I would love the girls to be able to have a conversation with you, because I think a woman's perspective and having a conversation with you, I think would lead to more, and I think it would have a better extent. Because plus, they better looking at me, so you might be able to open up a little bit better.
Hey, holler at me, we'll put it together. Y'all know where to find me at. Deontay Kyle. Across all platforms, on YouTube, Grits and Eggs Podcast. Thanks for the ladies of Sosa for having me, and Amanual for hosting, you know what I mean? I'll close the show out, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah, let him close the show out, shit.
Every Wednesday on YouTube, Grits and Eggs Podcast, and when do y'all...
Every Tuesday, ladies of Sosa.
Okay, ladies of Sosa got Tuesdays covered, and we got Unhinged in the Morrow on Thursdays with Mecca and Jamila, so, hey... Until next time, we'll holler at you.
Perfect.